So here now with more on this and also on the president's call for a wall at the border and how that could play into the DACA question. All of this comes together in one place because there's potential for a government shutdown in December over these big issues. Steve Cortes sat on President Trump's 2016 Hispanic Advisory Council. He is also a Fox News contributor. And Austan Goolsbee, he's professor of economics at the University of Chicago and served as President Obama's chief economist. Gentlemen, welcome. Good to have both of you here. Steve, I want to start with you because you point out something very important in this story, and that is the loss of this Hispanic officer in what is such a complex issue for Americans.
Right. And no, Martha, I'm glad you brought that up because I often bring this point up on air. I think a lot of liberal politicians think that they are pandering to the Hispanic community with their misbegotten liberal, politically correct policies, things like open borders and sanctuary cities. And what I point out all the time is that the victims of those terrible policies, very often, the prey that suffer are Hispanics themselves. So Agent Martinez is a hero. He died trying to protect our country, whatever the circumstances of his death, and it certainly appears that it was violence from perpetrators. He is an American Hispanic who died because we have allowed a dangerous situation on our southern border. There's many examples in sanctuary cities where Hispanic Americans die because of the pandering of liberal politicians with so-called sanctuary cities, which I don't call sanctuary cities anymore. I'm starting to call them Steinle cities because that's a more accurate term because it's not sanctuary for the cops and the victims in those places.
So, Austan, he's saying that people who think the way you do in some regards are doing a disservice to the Hispanic community.
Well, I mean, conflating this with DACA, I think, is kind of absurd. DACA.
I didn't mention DACA. I never mentioned DACA.
No, I did, and let me tell you the reason why. Because what's going on, you've got a budget bill that's coming in. You could have a shutdown of the government, and what is looking like it may happen is that the president wants funding for the wall, and Democrats may want to insert DACA into that in order to keep the government from shutting down. So all these immigration issues converge with this spending bill that is going to be under a lot of pressure come December, Austan.
Yeah, maybe, but I kind of think you're mixing some things that probably shouldn't be mixed. I mean, the first is Republicans control both houses of Congress and the White House. There has never been a shutdown in the history of the United States in which the government, all three branches, were controlled by the same party. All the Republicans have to do is do their job, and they can pass a budget. They don't need any Democratic votes to do that.
You know what? Here's the thing, though. There are a lot of Republicans and a lot of independents who believe that the DACA bill should be extended. It could be problematic on their own side of the fence.
That's my second point is the root of this problem is that by large majorities, the American people support extending citizenship or protections to kids that came here as toddlers and babies who are Americans. They love this country. They're working. They're important contributors to our economy. And the president of the United States made a deal with the Democrats that said he was going to extend he was going to pass DACA and extend protections for them. Yep. And he has turned his back on that agreement.
Let's get a response from Steve. Steve, is Austan right about that? Is this a problem for Republicans?
Look, it's a problem for America. I'm actually pro-DACA, and I happen to disagree with some of my colleagues within Team Trump on that. I do believe that these are a different category of people. They didn't choose to break our immigration laws.
Well, the president sounds like he agrees with you.
Well, yeah, and I think he does, by the way. But what did he do? He very compassionately said, let's do this the right way. I'm not a king like President Obama. I'm not going to wave my scepter through executive order. Let's do it the right way and get it through Congress. Now the onus is on the Congress, and I agree with Austan, it's on the Republicans in Congress to get this done the right way, and the right way is a compromise. Let's extend DACA in exchange for more resources for the border and an end to chain migration. That is the grand bargain that makes sense for everyone.
All right, guys, I got to leave it there. Thank you so much. Austan and Steve, good to see you both tonight.
Thank you.